Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Metabolism and Menopause podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I am your host and CEO of Vitality OET. We are a women's nutrition, health, and fitness company that focuses predominantly on women's hormones, particularly as they get through perimenopause and onwards. We know that so many women start to struggle with so many symptoms during this time in their life, like irritability, brain fog, night sweats, hot flashes, and of course, this belly that seems to have appeared out of absolutely nowhere, despite you not changing anything. So you start going back to your own ways of cutting calories, cutting carbs, doing exercise, but nothing seems to be working. In fact, it might seem like it's getting worse, and you just feel terrible. Less energy, you're not sleeping well, and you're not getting any results, so that just leaves you feeling frustrated and desperate. So our mission is to teach women about how their bodies are inherently different during this period of their life and help you finally reach those health and fitness goals so you can live a life full of vitality and really understand how to take care of this new body of yours. So with that today, I want to talk about accountability. I know this isn't like a hormone specific thing, but it's something that we've talked a lot about with our clients. We've talked a lot with potential clients, with people in our Facebook community. And it's something that is a skill that a lot of people have to learn to develop to really ensure that they are successful. So let's face it, you're starting this journey, you're focusing on improving your health, or for many of us, we're focusing on weight loss, which there is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But you're struggling to reach your goals in the past, or to maintain them long term. Like maybe you got to your goal, but then you didn't maintain them. And a key piece that is typically missing is accountability. So accountability is defined as an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or account for one's actions. So accountability really is about creating a framework that holds you to account and ensures that you're staying consistent in carrying out your actions, both towards your goal and for maintaining your goal. Chances are you already practice accountability in many other aspects of your life, like having to run a household, paying your mortgage on time, paying your bills, making sure your kids are awake and rushing them out the door, making sure they catch the bus, making sure you're meeting deadlines at work, all these other work commitments that you might have. And there is accountability associated with all of those things. And there are two main types of accountability that I'm going to talk about today, and both are incredibly important to ensuring your success. There is external accountability and there is internal accountability, or self-accountability is another way that we like to word it. Both, again, are going to be incredibly important to your success for various different reasons, and utilizing both of them side by side is going to yield a far greater success rate for you in not only getting to your goals, but maintaining your goals. So first, I want to talk about external accountability, because this is the one that we think about the most. It's the type of accountability where we seek support from external or outside factors, and it's usually going to come from people like a coach, a friend, or even your spouse. And you're just hoping that they will hold you accountable for your actions. They are there to make sure that your actions are aligning with your verbal commitments that you shared with them, so that your actions are lining up with your words. External accountability is especially important when you're starting a new health journey, because support and guidance can help you nail down those systems and new habits. And self-sabotage, which I'm incredibly good at myself, is far more difficult to do when other people are counting on you to succeed. So it was actually shown by the American Society of Training and Development. They did a study on accountability, and they actually found out that you have a 65% success rate of completing a goal if you commit it to someone else. So just by telling someone else you're going to do something, even if that's all you do, increases your chances of success by 65%. That's a lot. And then if you have a specific accountability appointment with a person that you've committed that goal to or with, that will increase your chances of success by up to 95%. So this is like having to do check-ins or having someone to meet at the gym, or like there's specificity with an accountability appointment that increases your success by 95%. That is wild. So you can create external accountability with trusted relationships around you, but don't fall into the trap of a necessary external accountability. And what that means is two things. One, you should not be requiring people who may not be the best at holding you accountable, or who may not be able to keep you accountable. And for most of us, let's be honest, our partners are not the greatest for external accountability. They are wonderful for support, and you can ask them to support you in so many different ways. But putting responsibility on them to hold you accountable for your actions may not be the best idea for most of us because A, we can get mad at them, and B, they're just not that good at it. So like, for example, as I'm recording this podcast, I'm currently in a fat loss phase, and Taylor is wonderful. I'm pretty sure he's going to be my husband at the point that this gets published. I don't know. Anyways, he'll be my husband at that point, which is super exciting. And he is so supportive of my fat loss journey right now. Like, for example, this morning I was on a meeting and he weighed out my food for me and wrote down on paper so he knew that I could track it because I'm tracking all my food right now. He didn't do that for his own food, but he knows it's important for me. So he wrote all that stuff down for me, which is absolutely wonderful. So very, very supportive. He was also like, hey, we should go to this restaurant once you're done with this nutrition stuff so you can like really enjoy it. Super, super supportive. Accountability, on the other hand, not so great. So he totally means well. But for example, the other night, he was like, oh, do you want some ice cream? I'm like, no, like I'm pretty close to like my calorie intake for the day. Like I'm going to pass. And he's like, if you don't write it down, no one's going to know. And I was like, oh, no, because if I lie, that means my clients might lie to us. And I don't want to believe that's true. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to practice what I preach and stick to it. Or he'll be like, oh, I want some of this. Do you want some of this? And like, like it's not like he's not keeping me accountable, but it'd be very easy for me to be like, sure, and then fall into it. So they're great for support. They're not the best for accountability. And then two, the other mistake people use with external accountability is that they only rely on external accountability for success and not their self accountability. And that being said, find people who you can trust to hold you accountable in small ways. And that might be like having a coach. That's literally why I hired Cariana for this, is because I knew by week 3, I would have quit for sure. Or you can have like a workout partner. So you're meeting them at the same time and day consistently. So every Wednesday, 4 p.m., I'm meeting so-and-so at the gym. That's great external accountability. And even having set appointments for like self-care, massage therapy, your chiropractor, your physiotherapist, all that stuff, your counselor, that helps hold you accountable for taking time out of your week to purposely work on you, your well-being, your health, everything. An external accountability with a coach, for example, can look like a bunch of things. So for example, this is what we do in our program. We have weekly check-ins or bi-weekly, monthly Zoom calls with the coach to talk about your journey, to create a clear roadmap for you moving forward so you know where you're going, feedback on how your past performance was, changes for upcoming weeks, helping you troubleshoot, that kind of stuff. Helping you find healthy habit solutions if you are traveling lots, if work got a little bit more hectic, if you're going to be more on the go. Helping you break down your big goals into smaller, manageable steps, because we all know when we focus on the big picture, it's very easy to get discouraged and quit. Helping you work on building habits and building systems, helping you develop your self-accountability, working on keeping the journey in mind and not just that ultimate goal. And of course, encouraging you to keep the course, even when things get really tough and we just want to quit because we're over it. We are there to help you when you lose motivation, because it is going to happen. Other forms of external accountability can be creating or engaging in a social media community for support. So finding like-minded people going through the same things to help keep you accountable. Accessing resources to help you stay accountable, like a health improvement book or journaling or listening to podcasts like this one. Having a workout buddy, super helpful. Attending a scheduled fitness class can also help because there's a set time and day. It's specific. You're more likely to attend that way, less likely to talk yourself out of it. Asking a close friend or significant other to help you maintain habits. It'll be like, okay, don't let me go to bed before I make my breakfast for the next day or pre-track my food for the next day or whatever it is. Things like that. And then also booking future appointments with like your therapist, your physio, your chiro, your counselor, all that kind of stuff, being proactive about it. So that is external accountability. Now we're going to talk about self-accountability. And it is always, always important to develop this. It is crucial and very, very, very important for maintaining your fat loss post working with a coach or post getting to your goals. So important. If you haven't developed self-accountability, you're more likely to revert back to old ways, which we do not want. You've worked so hard. We want to make sure you're maintaining your results. So this is the one thing that's overlooked all the time as being important in favor for external accountability. And this is usually because we are awesome self-sabotagers. I am great at self-sabotaging. Or we have like that internal belief that we can't succeed. And this can be from like, we failed in the past, or, oh yeah, I met my goal last time and I gained it back. That's exactly what's going to happen this time. Having so low self-worth, having a fear of change, all of those things. And the issue becomes this: when external accountability is not there, so when you don't have that person keeping you accountable, who or what is going to keep you from veering off course or staying accountable if you aren't the obvious fallback? Like, how is that going to lead you to success? Without self-accountability, we have very little chance of success, unfortunately. And just because it's like motivation. Like, external accountability isn't always going to be there. And self-accountability is the only way that you're going to stay on the straight and narrow, just like motivation isn't always going to be there. So we have to make sure we're building habits and changing ourselves that way to set ourselves up for success, because motivation is going to wane, just like external accountability isn't always going to be there. So let me paint you a picture. For example, let's say you and your partner, so Taylor and I, we go for a walk, let's say every Friday. And typically we have ice cream or something with that, or Friday we do whatever, something that may not be like the best thing, but now I'm focusing on a certain goal and I don't want to do that. So we walk by that ice cream place every time we go on this walk. So, but it's Friday and you both always usually get ice cream on Fridays. So you tell your partner, I tell Taylor, hey, when we go for our walk, let's not get ice cream. I'm really trying to stick to my goals. I'm like, okay, sure. Perfect. So then you go for your walk and then you pass that ice cream store. And then Taylor goes, are you sure you don't want some ice cream? I'm going to get some for myself. You don't need any. Like, if you don't want any, that's fine. But I'm going to get one anyways. So without self-accountability, it would be a lot easier for me to be like, I'll get it. I don't want to miss out on this treat. It's kind of like a bonding thing. And then my willpower just would kind of crumble. And then you're telling yourself, I'll just get a small cone. And before you know it, that's like an extra 500 calories you're over. And then you're feeling terrible. Or I might even end up blaming Taylor and being like, this is your fault. You didn't keep me accountable. You didn't stick to what we said you were going to do, which is not fair and not good to do. And this is like a similar situation that I'm sure lots of you have been in. And that I'm just saying we don't do that. Well, maybe we will. I don't know. It's still too cold for ice cream, I would say, but maybe we will. But so what I'm trying to get across here is the actions that you take on a daily basis involve holding yourself accountable to your commitments you've made and the new systems that you've created. So remember, in order to create lasting change, you must become a different version of yourself. Self-accountability helps you hold on to this new you that you have become. So the person that you were before is not the person who you are now, and is not the person that you are going to be when you reach your goals. There's going to be lots of self-development, new habit changing, new structuring, all those kinds of things. That's not to make you feel scared or nervous. It's going to make things better. You're going to be more mindful. You're going to have a better relationship with food. You're going to have a better relationship with your body image. You're going to be more aware around things. You're not going to be as stressed out around events because now you've learned how to deal with those things. But it is ultimately up to you to use the tools that you've been taught or you have developed to make and maintain healthy choices in your life. So this is something you need to really be aware of. Is like, yes, we can give you all the resources, all the tools, all the education, everything that you could possibly need to succeed. But you need to take on the self-responsibility that you need to use these tools that you've been taught, to use these resources that you've been given, and develop those to make and maintain healthy choices in your life. This is huge. When you take ownership over those things, it gives you so much power. Giving all of your power and passing that responsibility onto someone else and blaming them for you not being successful, you're never going to be successful that way. Once you take accountability, you realize there's so much that you can change, so much that you can manipulate, so much that you can actually control in your life to actually reach those goals. And it is the most empowering thing that you will ever experience, I promise. So taking self-responsibility over that is huge. And yes, if you hire a coach, they are there to provide you with external accountability. That is literally our job, to keep you on the right path and give you all the resources, the tools, and help you establish these new habits. But you are the one that needs to be doing the work every single day to establish that self-accountability for your long-term health journey once the coaching is over. And that can be a really tough pill to swallow, but this is what's going to really make it so that you can be successful, because the only person who can control your life is you. We can help you and guide you as much as we want and give you everything that we can for free, but you have to ultimately make the choice and make those actions. So self-accountability, you can work on so many things to develop this. It can be overwhelming, so just try and focus on one thing. So the first thing is creating your healthy anchors, and you can start working on these slowly, wait till you master one before adding on the next one so you don't get overwhelmed. But these are basically what we like to call our foundational actions. They are what you do every day or weekly to ensure that you're maintaining your healthy habits along your journey. So these should come as a second nature, as brushing your teeth, once these habits are instilled. And there's quite a few. So again, I just want you to focus on one or two at a time, crush those out. Once you feel confident and good with those, then we add the next thing. Because if you do everything at once, I promise you're going to get overwhelmed. You're not going to do one thing one day. You're going to be upset with yourself and then completely give up in that all or nothing mindset. And we do not want that. So here are the healthy anchors that we suggest you work towards. 1, setting a bedtime routine, going to bed earlier, getting a good quality sleep. This is super hard. This is probably one I would say work on last, because you don't want to get discouraged and feel like you're a failure. And just because you failed at something or you made a mistake or you weren't able to accomplish it does not mean you were a failure. It means that you haven't mastered that skill yet. That's all that means. So give yourself some grace. 2, drinking X amount of water daily. So realistically, you want to aim for your body weight in pounds, divide that by 2. That's how many ounces of fluid you should be drinking a day. But start small. If you're only drinking a 1 cup of water a day and you want to have 150 ounces, that's a very quick jump. Slowly work towards that. Number 3, going for a walk in the morning 4 times a week or walking 10 minutes daily. Nothing crazy. 4. That's 4. Weight training 3 times per week. 5, set a step goal. Start small and slowly work your way up. 6, eat protein at every meal. This is one that I would suggest you start doing immediately if that's the one that you have to focus on. And then eating 2 to 3 servings of vegetables daily. 8, balance your food groups at big meals. So you want to have your protein, your carbs, your veggies. De-stress for 10 minutes per day, whether that's putting your feet up, reading a book, going for a very light leisurely walk, having a bath, whatever that might be. 10 minutes self-care to yourself or de-stressing to yourself, and then trying to do one self-care activity at least once per week. And that can be a longer bubble bath. That can be booking yourself a massage, spending time for you, doing something that fills up your cup, whether that's crocheting or baking or whatever that might be, doing something for you. The next thing to help you build accountability is to create your minimums. So yes, that's a lot of anchors that we mentioned above, but this kind of approach is going to help you alleviate stress and overwhelm big time when things get tough. So set your minimums for each one. So make it easy to achieve. Think of your worst, craziest, busy day. What is the minimum of each of those things that you can do? And then anything above that is a bonus. So you really want to set the expectations low so that you can be successful. It will help you with your peace of mind so much, I promise. Having a habit tracker or checklist. Oh, everyone knows I love my checklists. I love my sticky notes. I love lists. Visually, it's just so satisfying to cross stuff off. Even if I have something on there that I didn't, there's something that I did, but it wasn't on my list, I will still put it on there and then cross it off because it is so visually satisfying to see what I have accomplished in a day. Because things can get pretty crazy. So Having a checklist to check things off, it can also help you track your compliance. So if you have the same things that you're doing every single day, your water, your protein, all those things, if you can do like a self-audit weekly and be like, wow, I really crapped the bed on my protein this week. Is my goal too lofty? I'll bring it down a bit, make sure I achieve it, and then we can try and improve it the following week. It's a really great way to self-audit and see what areas you're struggling in, or if the goals are just too big for you. The next one is scheduling it in your phone or calendar. Ooh, I love this. Setting reminders, scheduling alarms, just putting it in your schedule to make sure you actually do it. Just like your Apple Watch tells you every 30 minutes to get up and go for a walk, these reminders can really help you encourage good, healthy habits. Even in the middle of the day when you're super busy, it's so easy to forget them if they're not written down or scheduled into our calendars. Using a nutrition tracker or food journal is always a great way to hold yourself accountable to your eating habits. Doing monthly measurements or pictures to assess your progress is also a great way to keep you accountable. So if you're seeing things not moving the way you want, or like helps you see changes and helps you keep wanting to continue doing what you're doing, great. And then the last thing is staying in tune with your why. This is huge. We do this with every single client who enters our program. Why are you wanting to change? Why are you wanting to lose weight? Is it because the last time you were at that weight, you felt good? You felt confident? Your energy was great? You were sleeping better? Your relationships are better? Why are you wanting to change? And why do you want to maintain this change? What would that mean for you, your lifestyle, who you are? Why do you need to maintain the changes that you're making? And why do you not want to go back to the old you, the old version of you? This is huge. Keeping in mind your why is crucial for moving forward and then maintaining your results or maintaining where you are. Some of us even put it on a sticky note in the mirror to remind ourselves daily. This is huge. And like for me, I'm a lot more focused personally. I do the nutrition thing, I do the fitness thing. I like it. It's part of my habits. It's good. But for me, when it comes to like wanting to change and stuff, a lot of it has to do with like the person that I was, like psychologically, I guess is the best way to put it. Like in high school, I didn't have a ton of friends. I got bullied quite a bit, to be honest. If it wasn't for my boyfriend at the time, I think high school would have been really, really hard. I did not like attention in terms of like, I always want to strive to be good, but I didn't like getting a ton of recognition for stuff because that was always associated with bullying in terms of like, you think you're better than everybody else, this, that, and the other. When I had gotten news that I got asked to play college ball, I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want the attention because I knew people would treat me differently if I told them about it. And like, I think of the person that I used to be and like, yes, I feel like I'm still a humble person, but like you're allowed to celebrate your wins. You should celebrate your wins. Life is short to not celebrate yourself. And I think of like the changes that I developed from lifting in the gym. I had never felt more confident than I did when I was learning to deadlift, to squat, to bench press, like feeling strong. Like it was an amazing feeling for me. And I think of the person that I used to be, and I felt so weak and afraid and judged. And I was so worried what other people would think of me. And I was doing things for the wrong reason. Like I was trying to achieve things to improve my self-worth, which I don't necessarily think is like a bad thing. Like it's good to want to work towards things and then fail and then get better and achieve them because it gives you a sense of like pride that like I tried so many times and I finally did it and it's amazing. And like that's how I feel in business. But it's like I think of who I used to be and who I am now. And it's like the change in the confidence, the empathy, the like connection that I can make with people, the way that I feel that I can connect with others. Like I think of what fitness and taking care of myself in terms of going to therapy and doing all those things and, you know, having hard times and being able to be resilient through that. It makes you like, for me, one of the worst things would be reverting back to the person that I used to be. So that's why I maintain all these habits and continuously work on mindset and read self-development things and try to work on communication stuff, because do not want to be the person that I used to be. And not that she was bad, but she wasn't happy. And yes, lifting made me so much more confident, but it wasn't just like the body changes. It was like the actual feeling of like, I set out a goal to deadlift twice my body weight, to be able to bench press a certain amount, to be able to squat a certain amount, and being able to have that discipline that, yes, I can achieve that. I can achieve anything I put my mind to. I can do this. Like, I have the confidence and the skills and the tools to put towards all this stuff. And that translates into business as well. But it's like, I think being so in tune with your why, and even if it's just, you don't want to become a new person, you just don't want to go back to the person you were, and that's okay. Or maybe you want to go back to the person you were when you were X amount of weight or whatever that was. And that's okay. But figuring out your why and remembering it and keeping that at the forefront just makes it so much easier to develop the self-accountability and want to do these habits, to have these pillars, to want to track, to do all these things. So accountability is one of those things that can really make a huge difference for you. So one question that I want to ask you and to like think about is, what is your why? Why are you wanting to change? Why do you need to maintain this change? Why do you not want to go back to the old you? And with that, what are like the 3 to 4 anchors that you want or have that you want to establish in your life to have that self-accountability? So why are you wanting to change? Why do you need to maintain this change? Why do you not want to go back to the old you? And what are the 3 to 4 anchors that you want to establish in your life for self-accountability moving forward? I think that's something really great to reminisce on, ruminate on, and like really figure that out, because it's going to make everything so much easier from this point forward. I hope you found this helpful. I know it's not hormone specific based, but I promise you, if you put the work in this stuff, it will help you achieve success, like increase your rate of success so much more. And as always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, need help calculating your calories, your macros, figuring out what you're doing wrong, what you should be doing, do not hesitate to reach out. We are always happy to do that for free. You can find us through the website and book that consultation call in the show notes. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.